And worked out we worked out, so what you're saying is that we had worked out a compromise with moderate Republicans, Democrats, and the whole body, which is our job. I just make the point, everybody sometimes throws into the thing that Democrats have filibustered, and I always bring up, what issue did they stop last year that an appropriate compromise wasn't worked out?
But are you concerned that there may be coming out of the Republican caucus a resolve to use the previous question opportunity that effectively then starts closing down that kind of compromise approach that has been taken in past years?
I'm not too concerned because, as I recall from last session, the vast majority of filibusters were within the majority party itself. And if you use the previous question a lot, you have to decide, well, do we use it on one of our own members? And they have yet to do that.
Senator, what do you think the chances of changes, and when I mean changes, wholesale changes to the nonpartisan core plan, passing now in the Senate now that there's 3 less Democrats there?
I think there will be a long debate, but I think that is an issue that transcends party. I'm sure that there are moderate Republicans who have concerns about doing that.
Mm-hmm. But without, 2 filibusterers and Wes Schumeyer and potentially Barbara Frazier, is it going to be more possible that the opposition might be rolled?
I expect the bill to be discussed, but I'm sure at some point probably Republicans who have some concern about that will probably share their voices as well.
Are you surprised by how wide of a margin Senators Schumeyer and Barnett's lost by?
I was disappointed, but I certainly knew, I've known for the last month that this was not going to be a positive election, and they were going to be very challenging seats. Mm-hmm. And I think people were sending a message to Washington. I agree with part of their message. I mean, I think Washington had become out of touch. Mm-hmm. But I think a lot of people lost, not because of what they did, but because they had a D next to their name, and the people responsible are Harry Reid and Nancy Pelosi, actually. But I think it dropped down, obviously, at the state level, whether that was fair or unfair. But voters, I think, wanted to send a strong message.
And by that same token, you had the race, which I guess hasn't been officially called yet, in St. Louis County, which is not a rural area like the other 2 senators are, where it looks like a Republican will come out of there.
Yes.
What message does that convey, where in an area that was represented by a Democrat, and not necessarily a conservative Democrat like Barnett or Schumeyer,
that's been a very tight district, actually.
Mm-hmm.
For a long time. Mm-hmm. Previously, a Republican, Betty Sims, had held it. Mm-hmm. But I think it would be I don't think it would be wise to ignore this election. This election was a message-sending election. Mm-hmm. And what the voters, I think, were saying is, you need to listen. And I think there are people, who need to listen about what the voters said.